saying that, I think this talk could probably come with a pinch of salt. But the gist is that I do believe that as technology advances, video games and other forms of digital entertainment will have a really big impact on our lives and the lives of the following generations. So it's going to be really important to keep in mind that this is meant to supplement our lives and not substitute them. And the last talk I gave was on bacteria, so it can't get worse than that. Ed? So when I was thinking of doing this again, I was thinking of all the things that I'm into, and the first thing that came to mind after bacteria was the great outdoors. I'm a scout leader, I love wild camping, coast steering, and generally anything where I don't have to shower for a few days. But then, on the flip side of it, I'm really into burying myself away in a dark, dingy man cave playing video games all night. And this doesn't quite make sense because I almost can't think of two more contradictory hobbies. So I got thinking about why that was. And generally I realised that it's basically the adventure of both of them that is what I'm so into. Thinking a bit more, I realised that actually they can go really well together. For example, going and playing zombie games for 2.8 hours later is a great combo. So I just want to look at a few examples of how we can bring video game fun into real life. We don't get much of a chance to really explore these days with all the sat-navs and tour guides. But in video games, you never follow a path. You go straight from A to B, across that irradiated wasteland, and that's when you find the exciting bunker full of mutant cannibals. So if you apply that to a hike across Brecon, you never know what exciting, secluded, and really unique spot you're going to find. First-person shooters are obviously a really big game in there, and they bring a lot of excitement and sense of achievement to players, particularly when they do well. But if you enjoy this, you're almost certainly going to enjoy playing for a paintball team or an airsoft team, pain thresholds aside, of course. Storytelling as well is a really big part of games, and it's fantastic, easily equaling those of books and films, particularly when you get the immersion from controlling the character. But you go on a hike across Canada and find that bear, that is going to far outstrip any measly fictional dragon. I think FIFA is the next classic example for the next point. We used to go and play FIFA on a Saturday morning and then go and play football. But this can be applied to any sporting game that you enjoy. And whatever your levels of fitness, there's always some sport that you can get into. Just to boost the credibility of video games quickly, there are a lot of skills that you can get from games these days. I mean, for some, you really need to know how to use that map and compass, and even the fact that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west to navigate. Likewise, I've forgotten what's coming up. Likewise, there's a lot of freedom you get in games these days, and that's awesome, because what it means is that players really have to think about how to design that city or how to build that symmetrical castle. And that's going to help no end in the fight against flat packs and hopefully go on to help with greater skills. The US military have already started hiring drone coordinates straight out of esports, which I don't really agree with, but there you go. Lucas Ordonez, he never spent any time on a racetrack before. He won a games competition, was offered a contract with Nissan for Formula 3, came second in his first race and is still doing well to this day. But of course, there are still some skills that you definitely do not want to bring over to. No matter how good you are at juggling those wives and husbands in The Sims, I've read enough real-life magazines to know you should not bring that home. The next point is quite interesting, because actually there are a lot more esport fans nowadays than there are tennis fans in the world. YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and Frankie on PC regularly get a million hits in their videos. I actually game with more friends than I do camping these days. Maybe because I don't take the shower, but who knows. So the prevalence of online gaming really means that interacting with people is actually pretty key. With military simulators, you really need to work well with your teammates to succeed in those objectives. You try convincing that 13-year-old Call of Duty player that actually he did not sleep with your mother last night, because that's a tricky thing to do. But I also want to look at how you can bring video games to already existing real-life hobbies, because they have come on a long way. I mean, if you liked Farmville back in the day, wait until you see Farm Simulator 15. Again, I've forgotten what's coming up, but that's right. So if you're like me and you love camping, you'll also know you do not want to be doing that every week. But there are a lot of games these days that really focus on the camp building aspects and foraging, two aspects I really enjoy about camping. And this can be a great alternative while you're waiting for your blisters to heal. And you can get dragons, that's always a good one. Now, we touched on how games can help with creativity and logic, but for example, Minecraft is now being used in a number of schools. But there are some games that really do focus on learning and pure learning, and these can be a great way to bring enthusiasm, particularly to kids who might be struggling with those difficult math problems. Even my mum was thrilled that there's a Strictly Come Dancing video game. I've also got some pals who are really into their cars, and one of the things that appeals to them is that they can virtually buy, modify, and then race against each other in all these dream cars that we might not be able to do in real life. I personally was over the moon when Metro 2033 came out as a game. It was done brilliantly. The atmosphere made it feel like I was in the story as I was playing the game. Storytelling gaming is a fast improving genre. So if you're really into your books and your stories, I think you'd be quite surprised at how much you enjoy these kind of games. But with all indulgences, there are some serious side effects if you overindulge. I'm not saying either from personal experience, but I would say that if these kind of things are happening, then maybe look at balancing your activities a bit more. So I've had a bit of fun with this. I don't take it completely seriously, but I do believe that video games, they will become a bigger part of our lives and a great asset as well if used the right way. So I hope from this you can see that if maybe you're spending too much time in the outdoor world or the virtual world, you can kind of use the other to again bring that balance to make that balance a bit healthier. So thanks for your time. If you follow me on Twitter, you will be disappointed. I get about 3 tweets a year, all from Ed. But in light of the talk, if you've got a PlayStation Network, feel free to add me. We can have a couple of games. Cheers.